I turned that key and dropped this rock a little early, and it's still billions dead. Even you can't stop that.
I am Thor, son of Odin, and as long as there is life in my breast, I am running out of things to say. Are you ready?
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose, I love comic books, I love talking about them, I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We are continuing our run of Walter Simonson's Thor run. I do have a playlist. Feel free to check it out. I started covering Thor with his first issue, which is Thor 337, which is the first appearance of a Beta Ray Bill. So check that out if you would like. This is one of my favorite covers. Walter Simonson is the cover artist. He has moved on to X Factor as the penciler. So Sal Buscema is the inker the penciler and inker of the series, although Walter Simonson is still the writer. And I love this cover. I love this cover so much that when I bought this way back in the day, so I was 12 years old when this came out, I tore out the cover. I still have the cover by itself torn out in my possession all this much time later. I'm a huge fan of Walter Simonson, and I just absolutely adore this cover. Heroes always win, don't they? And so we pick up right where we left off in the previous issue with the appearance of the Absorbing Man. Now, if you remember from the previous one, Loki has been using normal humans and turning them into some of Thor's villains, and Thor isn't sure if this is the Absorbing Man or not, but he did appear out of nowhere because Loki brought him in, and Absorbing Man thinks that perhaps Thor brought him in, which Thor has no clue. Another thing to let you know is that Thor is under Hela's curse, and his bones are brittle, and his bones will break. However, he cannot die. So he will have to suffer through every agonizing moment with the bones. So we start out with this great splash page here, and we got our credits. Walter Simonson is writing, and Sal Buscema is the artist. John Workman, one of the best letterers out there. He's in my top three. Thomas Zukowski and Klein. I forgot. It's not Calvin Klein, of course. That is a anyway, he's the third here. So Todd Klein. Anyway. So here the Absorbing Man is attacking Thor. Thor's trying to evade him. He doesn't want to get hit, but suddenly Titania appears and goes into Thor and punches her, and he's like, oh my god, she is super strong. She punches like the frost giants. And so he is going to try and not hurt her. So we get a brief recap of the previous issue where he thought he was fighting the Wrecker, but it turns out it was somebody else, and that used up almost all that person's life, and they died. So Loki is using normal humans. He just gives her a slap because he believes it's just a normal person, and then falls and breaks her neck. To which, of course, the Absorbing Man doesn't. That's his girlfriend here, and just screams out Titania. And there's a reporter here that's gonna be throughout this whole issue, and he's sort of narrating the stuff that's going on here. But you can see the Absorbing Man is not taking this too good. And Thor, of course, says, "This is impossible. It can't be." And the Absorbing Man is like, "If I kill you, I'll kill you for that. I swear I'll kill you." And just lays in using his what is this called? Just a ball and chain. I know they used that back in the day for prisoners so they couldn't run away, but I think that's what it is, the ball and chain here. So great panel here, like it. And so he cracks a few of the ribs, Thor says, and he is going to need to run away. And so the absorbing man is like, oh my god, I am going to kill you. I don't care how far you run. And these people are like, oh, Thor's a coward because, he's running away. So, of course, they don't understand as the absorbing man keeps spinning his ball and chain. Now, here's the thing, the absorbing man can absorb things. However, right now he's a normal human being. I don't think he's supposed to be able to throw these things. But hey, it's comic books. Meanwhile, Loki is watching this here. Loki knows about the curse that Hela put on Thor, and these are the frost giants who have been reduced to normal size and the Balder the Brave limited series. And he's explaining to them that Thor's can't die. And he says, I have promised you the destruction of the Thunder God, and the word of Loki is his bond. Here in Jotunheim, you once towered over gods and men as mighty giants. And then, of course, until they met Balder, who had them reduced here. And Loki says, swear fealty to me, and I shall not only restore you to your former glory, but protect you against the eyes of the gods till we are ready to strike at the heart of Asgard. This is a great panel here of a brooding Loki here. Of course, they're going to betray him in the as soon as possible. They're like, so they're like, until you're no longer useful. He's lived among the gods too long, and this guy's like, how could someone so short be truly trustworthy as they're tiny? So, alright. Meanwhile, back in Asgard, this is Surtur's sword, Twilight, and they are going to sheath it. And Balder says here, before us lies Twilight, the great sword of Surtur, the demon of Muspelheim, who challenged the gods and lost. The gods paid a heavy price for this victory, for our Lord Odin was taken from us in a final battle. But Surtur's threat was ended, and his sword lies on the ground before us. Now we sheathe it, that it might never again be raised in anger until time hath come to its appointed end. And the order of all things is overthrown on the last day. Let the sword of doom be fastened to the great scabbard with unbreakable skein fashioned in the dwarfs of symmetry of Atri. So from this time forth shall Surtur's blade be a warning to the enemies of the gods, that those who dare to challenge us shall know the hopelessness of their ambition and be afraid. Let the word be spread. Henceforth the sword of Surtur shall be known for all time as the twilight of the gods. So as the other warriors look, and then this would be Thor's mother. And so back here we continue this amazing fight. Sal Buscema is an incredible artist. He is one of the best. He is an old timer and still going. That man, he's John Buscema's brother, and he is still going. He's got to be in his 80s and still draws. They go into the subway, and he's gonna touch the subway cart. I never understood, because he's got this stupid thing in here, the ball and chain. Why doesn't he just use that and turn into that here? So he's touching the subway train behind him and becomes tin or whatever the subway is made out of. And he says, oh, my leg. And so Thor is going to run away again, but Crusher is going to follow, and he's like, I ain't gonna quit till you pay for killing Titania if I have to tear the whole blame city apart. And Thor figures this has to be Loki's doing. And Thor is like, Creel, hear me. See to the woman. She's not the person you think she is. And Absorbing Man says, you got to be kidding me, Blondie. I'm going to lay your corpse at her feet, and not even running away is going to save you. So, all right. And so I absolutely love how Walter Simonson did Loki's castle, and Buscema, of course, continued that tradition. I just love this here. So he teleports himself home, and he is going to go into this room here, and of course he is a sorcerer, so he is going to do some stuff here. So he knows. He gives us a recap of Thor's um, curse, and he is creating. You can see here he is creating something here, but we are not privy to it at this moment here. Um, so Loki says here, now, or thinks here, now is the moment to strike, and though the frost giants think to betray me in the end, yet they shall serve the purpose of Loki. Fools to believe that their simple treacheries would go unnoticed. Though hands, sorry, though hands on every side should betray me, yet Loki triumph in the end. And so he finally gets what he's done, and he smiles here. This devilish smile says, Asgard, thou accursed kingdom, I see thy fate before me in the glass, and that fate is death. So what's what's in this thing? Well, we'll see at the very end here. So here in the Golden Bridge, Amara is still saddened by the death of Scourge, the executioner. Heimdall is her brother, but there's a scene here, and it's written as if he's like, make me yours, but it's her brother. So, and he's like, you're cold, you're heartless, and of course she gets angry at that. She's like, you're like, oh man, you seek to humiliate me before every eye. And so she turns him into a tree, but he is immune. He kind of gets out. He goes, such simple magic cannot hold me. And so he goes to her and he simply says, did you ever once tell him that you loved him? And so she cries in his arms. So, all right. And so one more thing that Walter Simonson is working, kind of a couple little subplots here and there. This was the era of subplots, and Hogan is watching these two Earthbound children who got into a skirmish with some Asgardians, and he gives them this apple here. And Sif comes, are you Eden, keeper of the fruit of life, that you should give it to anyone of your choosing? So it's the tree of life. And he says, they are my charges, Lady Sif. They have been adopted into the family of the gods and have the right. They have more need than most. Surely you would not deny them. And of course she smiles here and says, forgive me, Hogan, I spoke in my anger of other things. Who are these young men? And so as I mentioned before, they are, this has kind of been going on. They were taken by Vandalf. Oh no, the big one. And he's adopted them. Their mother was killed on Earth, and so the Asgardians took him in here. And he says, Volstagg, right there. May I present you the foster children of Volstagg, and we are about to feed them on the fruits of legend, which are this is the apple from Adam and Eve. And so he gives them to the kids, and boom, all good. And so we go back here to the Absorbing Man and Thor, and I believe that we just have this fight left. And so it's really one-sided here. It's really the Absorbing Man kicking Thor's ass, And you can see Thor using the hammer to stop the the ball here. And now that he does, he the absorbing man is able to use that and now turns himself into Uru, which is a mythical metal. It's a metal from Asgardian, and now Crusher smiles. He goes, "That's what I've been waiting for." And so he is going to use. He's just going to destroy him here, and throws it and breaks his ribs right there. And Thor is in incredible amounts of pain. And look at this as he just gets his ass kicked. This is if this was wrestling, this would be a squash match. And so that's what we basically have here as he tosses him. And they continue narrating here. And Thor tries to stand here, and he is in so much pain here as he screams, barely able to stand up here. And so he uses what's left of his strength to create a portal here. And here comes the absorbing man. And he's actually going to try to. It's actually Thor who's going to try to get away. So Thor's creating a portal for himself, but it's absorbing man who ends up going through, and he's like, "No, it's not what you think," and he's carried through, and he ends up in another place here. Um, and I think he'll show up next in the Incredible Hulk. And I am actually been covering that, so feel free to check that out if you want to see how he gets back to Earth. And so he goes, Thor, you tricked me. You listen to me, you crumb. I'll get back somehow. I swear I'll get back. And when I do, you're dead. You hear me? You're dead. And then it echoes here, dead, 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 dead. So, and I think he came back and forgot, because when he gets back, so he's brought back in Hulk, but goes on to do other things. So, and so I love this panel. I love this. Look how in pain he looks. This is a wonderful panel that you're able to just see the pain that he's in as people are kind of congratulating you, and it turns out that Titania really was not Titania here, and he's trying to walk away. They're trying to help him, but he's like, "Oh, leave me alone." And they keep asking him questions. He's just I don't know why Simonson decided to add these pages here. There's really not much except just a little exposition, but that's about it. So this really could have been done in about a page. And so Thor has had enough. He's like, "Leave me alone," and then he is going to fall, and Thor is down. And so we now are going to see what Loki has here. The time has come. Much did I learn of sickness and death from the magics in the Sword of Surtur, and that knowledge shall serve me now. Asgard has spurned the son of Laufey once too often. None other than Loki should have sat upon the golden throne of Odin. Henceforth shall the golden throne be empty, and death hold dominion over the kingdom of the gods. So he throws this bottle here, and it breaks open. And fly, you demons, fly. Let the last days of Asgard begins. And you see this demonic horde comes through. Next, when blows an ill wind. So, look at that. This is another lovely panel. Sal Buscema is very, very good. Thor 376 by Walter Simonson, writer, and Sal Buscema, artist. I like this run. It's gonna conclude in about 10 more issues or so, probably less than that. So we're in for the end game of Simonson's Thor run. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.